Okay, so I'm going to start the recording. Okay, you are good to go, and I'll admit people while you're talking.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So you just got your Healy in the mail. Woohoo! One thing that you can do, and we'll show it after this call. I know, I'm so excited about this. One thing that you can do as soon as you get your Healy, if you're a little concerned and you don't have your upline on the phone, is I'm going to show you later how to go to ATP 123 and where to click on the home screen. That will walk you through videos on pretty much everything we're doing today, but we know you love us, so that's why you're here with us tonight. So that's a shameless plug for the two of us. Anyway, okay, so you just got your Healy in the mail, and it came in a little brown box, right? Very unassuming. This is the first thing that I want you to do, is I want you to save your packing slip. That's the biggest thing, is save your packing slip. Okay, on this packing slip, there is your customer number, there's the order number. I'm going to highlight it right here on the phone, or right here on the call. This is your order number. Okay, if you ever have any issues, especially if this is a free unit that you got because of a sale, then they don't have record of that in your back office in your shop, which is kind of interesting. They don't have record of that. So you'll need to save this so that you can have that order number in case it needs to be activated. So I always tell people, save this, and then what I do is whatever Healy it is, I make sure that I write the serial number on the bottom, which you can find on the side of your box right underneath here, underneath the QR code. I always write that serial number on here. So if I ever have to go in and activate or do anything specific, I have the order number, and I also have the serial number for this Healy. Steve and I have a few of them, so I have a few of those. Okay, you've got your box. So this is what you're going to get in your box. You're going to get the instructions for use. I highly recommend reading it. It's not a long read, but I highly recommend reading everything in it. There is on page 18 is the frequencies for pain and pain locally. So that's here on page 18. That's really important for when you put people on pain. Sometimes they don't feel it, and you want to know that it's a really low frequency, and you can tell them why, because that's important. You'll also find a quick start guide, which just gives you basic instruction, what you're getting in your kit, how to run it. Again, this isn't anything elaborate, but this is just basic information on starting it up, how to scan the QR code, which Gwen is going to show you here in a little bit, what that first program looks like. We're going to show you how to get out of the screen and get into all of your files, all of your category files. So that's that. Your Healy will come with a little blue film on it, and this one has been taken off. So again, on the back is the QR code that matches on the box. Now, when I get one of these, I always make sure that the QR code and the serial number on the box matches the one on the Healy. That's really important. You want to make sure that they match. Okay, so then underneath, you will have a few different things. You will have this attachment, and a lot of people say, what exactly is this little attachment here? Well, on the back side of the Healy, there is a clip. And in this clip, just like a watch band, there's one of those little metal rods that have the spring on each side. That's what's holding this clip in place. So with a pin, you can, and maybe a magnifying glass, you can get in there and open this up so that this clip comes off, and then that pin will slip right into here, and you'll put it back in and snap it into place, and then you have a place where you can hang it with a lanyard. So don't throw this away. Keep it in the box or someplace safe. You'll also have cables that come with your new Healy, and you'll have electrodes. So the other thing you'll have, unplug it here because I've got mine plugged in, is you will have a little USB charging cord. This can go in, this USB end can go into a block charger that you can then plug into the wall, or you can plug it into a computer. This end goes into your Healy. So if you look at the, put it up here so you can see, this is the side that the cables go into. this is the side that you plug it into. Now, what I found the easiest way to remember, because remember how this edge is sort of beveled, is there is a little USB design on the top of that. That is the side that goes down. So you have the nice flat side that then plugs into the top side of your Healy. Okay, if I would have designed this, I would have done it the other way and put the little logo on the top, but that's not how it's designed. So turn the little logo of the cord over and plug it into the right side of your Healy, and it slips right in. The first couple of times you do that, it's a pretty tight fit. So just be kind of gentle as you're kind of putting it in. Now this one's fairly new. So again, it's, you know, just being really gentle. And then your cables will fit into the plugs here. So it'll be one in there. It does not matter which one goes in which one, just so that they're both plugged in. And then the cables will be attached to wrist straps, which I don't have the ones that we get here. I can show you, or maybe Gwen can show you cables later, or the wrist straps later. I only have the ones that you get from another source. But you will plug either the wrist straps in that have a little button snap, or you can plug in your electrodes that you would then place on your body. So that is what you will get in your Healy. All of this comes with every single edition of Healy. That's the only thing different is the amount of apps that will be available to you on that piece of hardware. That happens when you upload, like Gwen is going to show us now. So hopefully I've covered that part. I am going to show you on the ATP 123 a little video that you can tap and watch when you get your Healy, so that you don't have to do this alone. It's nice to have a person doing it with you, but you certainly can just do it on your own, especially if you have a video that you can stop and start while you're doing it. So that is sort of what you get in your box. I kind of showed you what to save. The manual is in the back office. It is also on atp123.com. And so, yeah, so that's what you get when you get your Healy. All of them are the same. It just, yours, whatever edition you bought, will have more or less programs attached to it.
So tell me if you can see my screen.
I can see Gwen Foster. Yes, I can now see your screen.
Okay, good. All right. So I've been thinking all day about this, about everything that people ask us with the Pink Dot app. First thing I want to do is show you how to delete the app. And this is on an iPhone, but I think Androids are very similar, and most people know how to take an app off their phone. But there's two things that Maria and I say a lot when it has to do with sometimes when you guys are having troubles, which we're not going to get into too much tonight, but we're going to tell you what's normal. And that is to delete the app. So to delete the app is different than closing the app. Those are two totally different things. But to delete the app on an iPhone, you just hold down on it, and you see they're all wiggling now with a little minus sign. And I'm going to click the minus sign, and it says delete app. So it asks you like 3 times, like you're not going to accidentally take it off. Okay. So now it's not on my phone. And this would be like, I just got the Healy and I don't know what I'm doing. So the very first thing that you do with at that point, whether you're on Android or iPhone, is you go to your app store, and we're only talking about the Pink Dot tonight. So you go into search. So I click the little magnifying glass icon that says search, and I'm just going to type the word Healy, and pretty much all the options are going to come up, and you're going to see the first choice, at least on my phone, it's always the first choice, is the one that says Healy with the little pink dot in the name. That's why we call it the Pink Dot, because that way it's not confusing between the Healy Analyze, which is the blue dot, and blah, blah, blah. So on the iPhone, you see the little cloud with an arrow. So that generally means you want to download. And I'm going to put in my password, which I don't care if y'all know it, because this is a non-money password. And it's going to download and show the icon now that looks like the Healy in gray with the little pink dot. So we always refer to this as the Pink Dot, which is also microcurrents. And then I am going to say allow notifications, even though I'm going to turn those off when I get into settings. Okay, so there's a disclaimer. You read the disclaimer, you click next, just touch it with your finger. And then there's another thing that they don't want to accept liability. Okay, I'm clicking next. And then it says Healy would like to use Bluetooth. Okay, I'm gonna click OK because Healy needs to use your Bluetooth to get into, you know, how it does things. And I actually probably should go check. Okay, now,
Hey
one
Gwen,
thing
can
I
I say here, really quick that anytime Healy asks you to do something, say yes and allow, because it's for a reason. And I think sometimes people get hung up because we're so used to pressing no, 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 I don't want to do that. But anytime you see something come up, your camera, your contact list, your Bluetooth, your location, just say yes. For this time, just say yes.
Okay, good point. Then also I want to say, and really before you go into the app, we'll see what happens here because I'm going to show you what can, I'm going to show you what real life, you know, people go in and they're like, oh, it, you know, whatever. I'm going to try to give you all those examples. So before you're thinking ahead of questions, so I'm going to say, I have a Healy and I'm going to say connect to Healy. And at the time I say connect to Healy, I'm pressing the on off button that's in the middle of my Healy. And it looks like a power button. And I'm just making a firm press on that button. And it turns the green light on, which is now blinking a steady green blinking. Okay. So you see now it's saying scan QR code. So I'm putting my finger on the button where it says scan QR code. It says they want to use my camera. I'm going to say, okay. There's my office. Let's do that again. Okay, and then you're going to put your Healy, just kind of move it up and down until it grabs your QR code. Let's see. Sometimes I turn it upside down. And at some point, maybe there's too much going on in this room. There it goes. Okay, if that doesn't work, there is a way to enter it manually. And the serial number is on the back of the Healy and it starts with SN for serial number. And it always starts with 010101. So you can type it in manually, but sometimes you have to wave it in front of the camera like I just did. It's not an exact science, but it's easy. And then I'm going to click connect. And it's going to go into the programs. Okay, so I had deleted the app. So this is like what it looks like when it's new. If you don't get to this point and you get hung up, there's usually two reasons. One is maybe your Healy's not charged or you need to charge it. And the other reason is because your Bluetooth isn't on. It can also be that your Bluetooth has all these other connections, which I'll show you in a minute. Now, just while we're talking, because I have super fast internet, see how it came up almost immediately with there's an update available. For most people that call us, that does not happen. You have to go into settings and do the update, okay? So if you have super fast internet, it'll do like mine, and I never have any problems here. So I'm gonna click okay. And now it's gonna download the Healy apps, the programs. Now, if that wouldn't have happened, you go to settings, click the arrow that's pointing to the right next to settings, and you would say check for updates. If you hit check for updates, it still could take 20, 30 minutes if you have really slow Wi-Fi, or if your phone's not connected to Wi-Fi and you're just using your phone signal. That's usually pretty slow. Okay. Then while we're on the settings screen, I want to stay here a minute because I do not like all those sounds and dings and notifications. I hate that. So I turn off the sound, which means I don't get any sound, and I deactivate the notifications, which means it doesn't tell me every time it changes a hertz. And that's pretty much all I need to know right now. Then you have your languages, but it defaults to English, okay? So now if I have everything the way I want it, and I can go back and show you the sounds, but they're just annoying. So if you like to have a ding, 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 and you want to hear, you know, have a little screen thing come up constantly that says okay or in okay, then leave it on. But if you don't want to be annoyed like me, then turn it off. Okay, so you see up at the upper left-hand corner, there's 3 lines. They call that a burger. Don't know why. I'm going to click on that 3 lines, and that puts me back into the program list. Now, the first time you see the program list, it looks like this, and they're all listed, and I have like everything they have to offer. So I have quite a bit of stuff in there. So I'm going to go back up to the beginning. When you first get your Healy, and this is what I was told, this is what I did, this is what I tell people. You click on Gold Cycle, and there's your 7 gold programs. What I was told in the beginning, and I did at least follow those instructions correctly. I did Pure and Release, and I used straps back then. So let's say you listen to follow instructions and you're a new Healy person, then you click on Pure. So you click on the teardrop looking thing that's above the word Pure, and I'm just touching that with my finger. It tells you where to put the electrodes or the wrist straps on the wrist. I don't ever use those personally, but Maria's gonna maybe demonstrate that later.
And
I don't
that's
even
just
know
a
where
and that's just a recommendation. You can use electrodes. You do not have to use the wrist straps, and you can put those electrodes anywhere. Doesn't have to be. This is just a recommendation.
Yeah, and I don't even know where mine are, so I don't use those. So I clip mine to my bra, or I clip it to my shirt, or I put it in my bra, or I'm laying it in the bed next to my dog or between us. Okay, so mine is usually laying on me or next to me or clipped to me. But anyway, you guys have to choose. But we're going to talk about the line, the black and white line, in a second. So once you've got to the screen, you click start. Now, this is super important. During the transmittal of the program, it's sending the program and the hertz that's going to be sent into your body. That's sending it from the cloud via your phone, instructing it into your Healy device right now. During this minute or whatever this takes, you need to be next to your Healy. Okay, the green light is flashing quickly. The blue light, the Bluetooth light is flashing steady. And as long as that green light is flashing quickly, you need to be next to your phone. Okay, now it's almost finished. As soon as it finishes, this looks like it's breathing. It looks like a heartbeat. Then you can walk away from your phone. And I'm going to show that in a second after we talk about this a little bit. So since I never use the straps, I always have a black line. I don't care that it's a black line. If someone tells me what's a black line and they say it's not connected, I do not care. Okay. If you have the straps and you have the electrodes on, and if they're on securely, and if you're not mineral deficient, and if you're not dehydrated, and if you have good contact because it's not like a hairy part of your body or something, then where that little black line is starting to show up, you'll have a white line. And guess what? They both work. So don't freak out if you have a black line and not a white line, because you're still getting microcurrents. The other thing that you can see on the screen is right above the little red dot, you see the hertz changing. So you'll see 836.9 hertz. That's a specific hertz that Nuno Nino decided was good for this particular topic of Pure, which is kind of like a basic, like basic little detox thing. So, and then it's 51.9 hertz now, 310.1 hertz. This gold section was originally the Nuno Nino stuff that Healy bought from him, or whatever their arrangement was. These are frequencies in microcurrents. You do have to be connected or next to or near the Healy device for these to work. You cannot run the Pink Dot application or program on your sister in Las Vegas if you live in Houston. It's not going to happen. Okay. Then on the left, you have a countdown. So it started at 52 minutes. Now it's at 51 minutes. It's going to count down all the way to the end. I kind of, if you do Healy for a while, you kind of get in your mind how long a program is, and you kind of go, okay, I have an hour basically. And then it's time to switch programs. Okay, so at the bottom of the screen, you have a plus and minus sign, and you have a default of 15%. This is the strength or the amplitude of the microcurrent in voltage that's going to go into the body. If you turn it up, you just hit the plus sign, and I'm just touching the plus sign. And if you want to feel like you electrocuted yourself, keep going. And if you don't like that, which I don't, I leave it at 15. I've never used any number besides 15, except for the very first time I got it. I did turn it up a little bit to feel it. And if you turn it up, you will feel it. It's going to feel like an electrical surge, sometimes stronger than others, sometimes quite strong, sometimes like a tens unit. So if you have the person who says, I want to know it's working, then turn it up. But Marie and I have a belief that there is some aversion that could happen to feeling electrocuted. So if you don't want to have it at 100%, I mean, I personally don't like it at all. And I think most people would be adverse to feeling electricity. So you don't want your body to wall off or block the effects, which I think is possible. You can take it down for very sensitive people. There's some people that are super electricity sensitive, like if they've been electrocuted in the past. Some of these indigo and crystal kids are super sensitive. So if someone comes in and tells you that they turn off computers by walking by them, you might want to put it at 5%. Like people know when they're electric sensitive or when they, affect things. So I would consider going lower. If you're in the middle of a program and you want to stop it for some reason, you can just click the middle of the teardrop where it's pulsing. I'm touching my finger on that teardrop and that stops it. And if I want to exit out, which I don't want to do yet, then I can click the X. Now to start it back up again, you touch the teardrop and now it's pulsing. Okay, so now I am going to walk away from my Healy and I'm going to walk far enough away. Well, let's see what just happened. I can close. I'm going to actually close on.
I think that was important to show though on your iPhone that you have to swipe. On an iPhone, you have to swipe each individual program. On an Android, you just touch the bottom left. I can show that on my phone later. Touch the bottom left and it'll say close all, and you can individually or you can literally close all of them. So that is one of the differences. But on a iPhone, you have to literally swipe each one individually up. Really quick, I wanted to just mention that Brad and Laura both wanted to remind us to tell people, and I should have said that when I was opening the box, to plug your Healy in first. That's the first thing you want to do is plug it in until the green light. When the green light goes off, charging is complete. So when you first plug your Healy into, whether it's a computer or to one of the blocks that you plug into the wall, the green light will come on denoting that it's charging. And then when it's done charging, the green light will go off. So thank you for that.
Okay, so now we're back to where I left off. We're at 46 minutes now. Okay, and what I was trying to show you is, and I'm going to keep talking, but I'm walking away from my Healy. Okay, I'm going far enough away that I'm taking my phone with me so I can talk. So it's the Healy I'm leaving behind right now just to demonstrate this. So at some point when I get far enough away from my Healy, which usually for me is at the other end of the house or outside, it's going to disconnect from the Healy because the Bluetooth signal can't find it anymore. And I'm a pretty good distance right now and it's still connected. So we'll see how far I have to go. I might have to walk the block. Okay.
There you go.
There we go. I'm not quite to the edge of my yard. So this is normal. Okay. You've walked away from your Healy. Your green light is still steady flashing. You are still getting your program. You do not need to have the phone and the Healy next to each other because just because you get the screen doesn't mean it stopped. This is what a lot of people think. But now I'm going to walk all the way back. I'm just kidding. It's not that far. I don't even know how far this is. This might be 40 yards, 30 yards, maybe 100 feet. So I'm going back inside. And as I get closer, I'm going to wait till I'm right next to the Healy again. And remember we left and it was at 46 minutes. And I'm going to click connect to Healy. And there's two things that can happen here. Either one, it's going to connect and it's going to go right to where it left off, or I'll close the app and then go back in. Either way works. Sometimes I have to do one or the other, but it's good. This is actually good if it doesn't work. If you hit connect to Healy and it doesn't find it, swipe up. I'm not going to close Zoom this time. I'm going to close that. I'm going to go back to my Pink Dot app. and I'm going to hit next. And it is back where I left off. So 2 minutes have transpired. It's still working. It's still counting down. Nothing has stopped. So that's what you have to do. If you take a phone call, if you go and do text, if you go do whatever, it doesn't matter. You haven't disconnected. If that program is downloaded to your Healy, then for 52 minutes, you can be taking a walk, watering your plants, washing your dishes, whatever, and you don't have to have your phone with you. If this is something I didn't know in the very beginning, but I found out later, let's say you're doing sleep. I do this every night now. When I do the sleep mode at night, if I were to swipe up, on my phone, you have to, if my fingers are slippery, I got to do it several times. Okay, look, I'm swiping up the app. Okay, the app is now closed. My Healy is still blinking green. Okay, so it's still working. If the app's closed and the Healy finishes the program, it turns itself off. That is normal. If I had the app open and I didn't swipe it up, the Healy will stay on, and it will stay on all night long until the battery runs out. So if you're in a situation where you're using your Healy and it's like in bed and you don't want to run the battery out, then close your app after you've downloaded the program. And then that way it'll turn itself off by itself. And I wake up and I can use my Healy for like 5 days without recharging it, because I just automatically always close the app once I'm finished downloading or transmitting the program. Okay, so let me show you something else. I'm going to click on the teardrop to stop this program. This time I am going to X out. So I'm going to put my thumb on the X. It says, do you really want to close the program? Yes. Okay, so now I'm going to go through the menu, and Maria's going to show us in a few minutes the program list, which most of us have seen or have access to. It's also in the back office. And I can go and choose whatever program I want. So let's just say I want to do strength. Okay, so again, I'm clicking on start, and it's transmitting. Okay, during the transmission, oh, I hate this when I get a phone call during this. During the transmission, you do not want to take a call or get a call. You see what just happened? That's actually probably a great example. That number came in, a miscellaneous number, and you see like it killed my action. And my Healy has now turned off because you see the transmittal didn't happen. This is the problem with using a very busy cell phone, because if that transmittal doesn't happen without an interruption, guess what? You got to start over. No big deal. It's just the way it is, but it's something to realize that if you go take a call, your thing didn't transmit, so it's not going to do anything until you go back and restart it. So now I click the on off button. I went back into the Pink Dot app. I just have to go back to it. It's not a big deal. So I want to go to strength, and let's hope the phone doesn't ring again. But you see, that's what sometimes people say they're also having a problem, that it doesn't finish downloading, and it's because they got a text, or they went and looked at a text, or they got a phone call and they took the call. Well, whatever in this bar graph thing right here, only right here, you can't go do anything else. So don't think it's transmitting and then you go do something, because then you're going to get messed up. Okay.
And you can't move away from this screen either. Don't move off of that screen. At least keep that screen on while that progression bar is going.
Yep. Until it finishes, until I see the breathing and I see the little dot appear, the little right there. That's when, this is what I do. I close the app like here. My Healy's running for the next hour, and I go about my business. Okay. I don't have to think about it. If I don't know it's been about 52 minutes, I just go back in, no big deal, and reconnect. And usually it's about when it's over, or if it's over, it'll say program complete, and I'll hit okay. And then I'll go to the next program. So as long as you understand what's normal, you won't expect something's not happening right. So you see, I just went back in. I didn't miss anything by closing the app. Closing the app while the Healy's in the program of the 60 minutes or 52 minutes or 20 minutes is just a way to save your battery. And you can always go back in and check status. You can always go back in and go to something else if you choose. Okay, so let's spend a little bit of time on the program. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So I'm gonna, you always click on the pulsing thing to stop it. That starts it, that stops it. I'm just clicking on the circle inside the circle. Okay, now I'm gonna click the X. So to go back into the programs, and then Maria, you can definitely chime in on this. Pure and Release are on this main screen, and there's some really good programs just in the gold cycle. Like if I was going to tell someone that just got their Healy what to do, I would say do Pure and Release, just those two for like a week, or do Relax, or if you need a little energy boost, do Energy in the morning. Don't do things that aren't logical. Like don't do energy right before you're going to go to bed. Don't do sleep in the morning when you're trying to be awake, because sleep makes you tired. It makes
Can
you
I
want to
tell
go
a
to sleep.
story? Can I tell a story
Yes.
on that one while you let more people into the room? It looks like there might be somebody waiting.
Okay.
So my husband, when we first got our, let me turn my video on. Sorry, you're talking to a black screen. When we first got our residence, Stephen was very adamant about scanning himself every day. God love him. And he found that sleep was the #1 priority. So I'm coming down, getting ready for work. And I said, what are you running? And he goes, oh, one of the sleep programs. I'm like, why are you running a sleep program right now? He goes, well, it was top priority. And I'm like, okay, but maybe not run that during the day, hun. And he was like, no, I'll be okay. And I'm like, okay. So I went off to work and I got a call 2.5 hours later. And he said, I fell asleep in the chair. So don't run sleep in the morning, even if it's priority. And we'll talk about Blue Dot next week, but don't run the sleep programs during the day, and especially while you're driving, because you may miss work. It was kind of
And
funny.
I'll tell you another funny sleep story. Well, it's not really funny, but my dog will go to sleep in like 4 minutes. And like he can be restless and he'll sleep if I put on sleep program, right? But the funny thing is with him, he's so sensitive to the microcurrents that, okay, so if sleep is an hour, at an hour and 2 minutes, he wakes me up. So this happened last night. I put on sleep program for him at 4 o'clock in the morning. And at like 5:03, he woke me up and I was like, oh, dang, it's been an hour. And then I put it on again. And at 6:10, he woke me up again. It's like, he went sound asleep for an hour while it was running. And then when it was over, I guess he had to go to the bathroom or whatever. But it's funny that he is so aware of the microcurrents. If I put on the eye program, he starts digging in the bed with, rubbing his eyes against the bedding. So he is super aware of what is affecting him. Or I don't know if maybe he's waking up going, I like that. Turn that thing back on again.
And I think it's really important for people to hear that, because if animals can feel the vibration coming from the Healy, so can you. Energetically, you may not feel it, but here's Eddie, who's obviously not attached to any cables, and he is so sensitive, he can tell when it goes off and when it goes on. So people who say, well, you have to use the cables, you don't have to. I like the cables. I think that I just love that energy going through me. I think I feel that really well. Gwen, on the other hand, is one of those who just doesn't like that feeling. And so, but talking about Eddie is a great testament to just run the Healy. If you don't have time to hook yourself up to the cables, don't worry about it. Just run the Healy.
Yeah. And just for those of you that don't know me, I bought a house by feel. Like I had to sit in a house that made me feel calm and normal. And I bought the house I'm in now because of feeling, not because of the way it looked. So I'm a person that if it doesn't feel, I'm just very sensitive. And so I don't want it. I don't want that microcurrent thing. So, I have it because it's next to me, but I'm getting it either way. I'm still getting the benefits. So if I go past gold, then there's the 8 pain programs, and the program list, which we'll show in a second, tells what each one of these Roman numerals are, because by looking at them, like you can see a tooth and you can see like it looks like a broken bone or something, but it doesn't really say for broken bone. So you really do need the program list for that section. And then for learning, I use these programs all the time, learning concentration with clients, especially on the Blue Dot app. And then on fitness, you have some stuff like having to do with weight, regeneration, and things that, I mean, it's not really just about fitness, because a lot of these things are just good for anybody. Deep relaxation, circulation. And then job and sleep. My favorite program is probably Balance Sleep. That's the one that I use. There's 3 different sleep programs. This one, systemic sleep, and the sleep protection. But I use Balance Sleep, and that's the one I get the most benefit from. Mental balance, also very good because of addictions, anxiety, depression, stuff like that. You know, there's a little name on here like emotional well-being, but if you go to the program list and if you really start looking at that often, you'll get a better clue of really what the program does, because then sometimes it's a little misleading. And I also want to say, you know, people say, well, what is it doing? I don't know. I mean, I know that it's based on the topic on the program list, but do I know what each frequency they've programmed in there does exactly to the body? Well, you can look up some of them online under high frequency stuff, and you can see, well, this one was documented for fibromyalgia. This one was documented for MS. You can find those kind of things, but the research is honestly all over the place, you know, as far as that goes. And so I think you just have to go, well, this is the category I like, or you have to, if you have the resonance and use the Blue Dot app, you can use that to kind of help guide you. A lot of people love beauty and skin. I've never even used these, just because I have my little things I like to do. And then bioenergetic 1 and 2. This is the program for eyes that I told you within a minutes of, I sometimes have to watch when I do this on Eddie, because I can't do this at night. Like if I do eyes at night, it gets him kind of riled up because he wants to go dig in everything and wipe his face and eyes, and he's pawing his eyes, you know, but that's the one I'm talking about. I think that's what Cheryl was talking about last week. And then you have like menopause. I've used that one for myself. Bioenergetic harmony 2. I love these. I love this whole list. The thyroid is common when I talk to people, food sensitivities. And I'm not going to go into every program because it's on the program list and I would just be reading from a piece of paper. Okay, meridians are basically based on traditional Chinese medicine, but don't let the name fool you either, because the small intestines is tied to a whole bunch of things in the body, and so is large intestine. So it's not just for small intestine, even though that should give you a clue, but that small intestine meridian is also connected to eyes, like certain teeth, certain other parts of the body. So it's a whole meridian system around the body. So you might have something going on like a headache, and you might get that you need to do small intestine on meridians, and I would just trust that, because that could be the thing. And in fact, gut has a lot to do with headaches and migraines anyway, but if you didn't know that, you would have to kind of trust. And then meridians too, which is the rest of the meridian system, and then chakras. And I love these two. These actually show up on a lot of people when you're doing the Blue Dot scan. And then the protection programs, and the way I've been explaining the protection programs is it's not like that you have to have the Healy on all the time wearing it for protection. It's that these particular programs and hertz are, this is my opinion, and I don't know if I've even heard this exactly like this, but it's like adjusting your frequencies to make you more resilient for protection. Because how else would it be possible to do like cell phone protection if you did the program? Like, let's say I want to do it right now, and it shows you where to do the electrodes if you're going to use those. But if I was going to do this and it's a program for like an hour, then how am I protected 4 hours later from my cell phone if I haven't changed me, like if I haven't upgraded myself? So I look at the protection programs like an upgrade to your body so that you can better protect yourself from the damaging effects of all these different subtle energies. And that's what they are. They're subtle energies that, you know, maybe not even measurable. So I was going to see how long. I haven't done this one in a long time, but I think it's an hour. Oh, 77 minutes. So, but you know, like that's what someone told me they thought you had to run that all the time. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't run that all the time. Okay. So next are the deep cycle programs. So if you're a new Healy user, then these don't show up at first. I don't know the exact number of days later after your Healy's activated that these show up, but I thought they were a gift when we got it. And then I found out they always show up a few weeks after you first get your Healy. So if you've just got a Healy, you won't see these 12, but these are considered, like, to me, that I would say the second layer of the gold program. So you should do the gold first. And then this is like a new layer, and they're the first application, second application, third application, which is like detox, clean all, which is definitely detox. And so I love these too. The kidneys for the male and female, go to the roots. I've used these a lot for Eddie too, breath of life, especially in free flow.
Yeah, I love
then-
the kidney all female and the kidney all male. Those are awesome programs.
Yeah, I think so too. And then you don't get those automatically. You get this one, bioenergetic boost. I've heard lots of people tell stories. I've heard it's for certain popular viruses going around. I've heard it's also, well, I didn't even know that. And one day I didn't sleep at all because of Eddie. And I was so tired and I had a super busy day. And I thought, oh, I'm going to go do energy. And I was going to do energy under gold. And then I remembered this one, bioenergetic boost, and I ran it. And I was fine all day. It wasn't like I was dragging, and it wasn't like I didn't sleep. I wasn't jittery, like I had too much caffeine or anything either. I was just normal. And I was actually really shocked, because if I get no sleep, I'm maybe a little grumpy. And I also would be like, thank God the clients are over. You know what I mean? Because you're just tired. That day, well, that's the only day that's happened like that, really, but that I used it and I felt fine. So you might, if you've had a bad night's sleep, or you're traveling, or you need that extra little boost, but without caffeine, you might try the bioenergetic boost. So that's like the main things I want to show. I want to go to my Bluetooth now, because this other thing that we talk about a lot. So on my Bluetooth, I don't have anything else besides Healy. You know, like right now my Healy's off because I closed the app, but I have nothing on this menu. And I haven't had anything on this menu since I got the Healy, since we figured out that sometimes there's conflicts. If you're a person who has every rental car you've ever rented on there, and you have your Alexa on there and your stuff on there and your speakers and your outdoor speakers and all that, you're gonna be a little bit frustrated, I think. It's best if you can clear out all that stuff. I did actually, when I had my Healy, I did have like a rental car and my car, and that's really all I had. I don't have Alexa and all that stuff. So if you have stuff on Bluetooth, it's best if you can clear them out. And if you can't clear them out because you use all that stuff, you might consider getting a tablet or use an old phone or something. I have an old iPhone. I didn't trade it in. I could actually use my Healy on there, but I bought a Samsung tablet at Costco for about $100. And my intention at the time was to do the tablet. I still use a tablet sometimes, but I mostly just do it on my cell phone, because when I'm not working, I don't answer my phone anyway. So I'm like a hermit. So it's okay. I just put it on Do Not Disturb, but I do put it on Do Not Disturb so I'm not getting calls and stuff, so I can actually use the Healy. But you can do it either way. You can put your phone on Do Not Disturb. I've said this before on calls, but I'm gonna say it again. I've had some people come in that were having a lot of problems, and they drove to Katy so I could help them. And and I'm not exaggerating, within sitting here 20 minutes and talking about Healy, their phone dinged or rang no less than 20 times. Like, I was like, oh my God, I thought my phone was bad. So if your phone is super active with Facebook notifications, and your, thing dinging constantly, and your family sends group texts and all that stuff, that's going to drive you crazy with Healy. I'm just going to tell you right now. So you might then consider to get a second device. That's all I can say. Okay. And then I was thinking, Maria, because I do have another device here, and I may charge it while you're talking about programs. Let me see. No, I have one that I card charge. Do you want me to show connecting to a different device?
Yeah, let's do, and then let's show, in case that prompt doesn't come up, that you've got a an update of going into the settings and do it this time? Does that make sense?
Well, my thing is mine comes up so fast, I can't get there to do that.
Oh, so, but you could hit cancel.
Oh, okay. So do you want me to delete the app and start over from there?
And actually, don't delete the app yet. Go ahead and get into that second device, and let's show in settings where you can go search for another Healy.
Okay.
So if you guys are having Healy parties, or you have a couple of Healys going on in the same room, like Gwen, when she went away to try to disconnect, you don't have to do that, although I've done that before. But if you go into the settings, you can go in and it'll say connect to another Healy, and then your Bluetooth will actually start searching for that other Healy.
And I'm going to give you a tip, right? I'm going to give you a tip right now. I'm walking to the other end of my house. I'm taking the Healy I was just using and I'm putting it on the bed. I'm getting it out of my vicinity. I have now the second Healy turned on and I'm clicking next. So now I'm on a whole different Healy. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. I swiped it. It's actually good to screw up because you can see, I mean, I go in and out all the time, but this is where most people get a little bit confused.
And this doesn't mean that screen right there where the wheel stopped, that doesn't mean that it's locked up. That literally just means it's thinking. Like this one might stop for a second. Oh, it went right in. You have fast internet. So
I told you,
yeah,
it's super fast, but if I have to delete the app to show you, but it's still going to go right to it. Okay, this is another Healy, but what do you want me to do here?
So go back, and I mean, I know you clicked in settings, but so people can see that you actually are going to click in the settings. Sorry.
Oh, wait, shoot, I could just click the wrong button. Hold on, let me swipe it closed again. I don't usually do this while I'm talking, so I needed to say connect to the other Healy because it's still trying to find mine. Right. And this is the problem with you guys having two. You can't have two on your desk. And actually I may need to walk away further. You can't have two in your lap and switch from one to the other. We covered this on a call a few weeks ago. You need to get away from the other one. Okay, you see now where it says search for another Healy. Now I'm far enough away from mine where it wants to find another Healy. I have the other Healy turned on. So now they have to find each other. And I know that this is a weird, inconvenient thing, but it's just knowing the difference. Okay, so now it's acting like it should. I'm going to click scan QR code.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my second Healy. I'm going to click connect. And now I'm here, which is normal because I need to go into settings. So let me click settings real quick. So before it does it for me. So now I'm going to do check for updates. See, I had to do it pretty quick because it's going to pop up. So just remember, if you have two Healys, get away from the first one, turn it off, leave the room, leave the house, leave the building, and then do everything like from scratch with your second Healy.
This is a timeout. And you have fast internet. So let me ask you this, Gwen, when you have helped people when they've come to you to try to get, try to see if their programs are activated after, you know, when they just see the blue program and the therapist and the settings, what has been the longest amount of time that you've waited to get that to come up? I mean,
that was the longest I've ever seen it take.
For you, but
yeah, but I already know how to fix the time. If you get that message I just got, that timeout for updates, delete the app and go back in. That fixes that. For me, I've never had it take more than a minute or two. And that's why I'm saying that when people tell me it's 30 minutes later, I know they have terrible internet.
Yeah.
And then people
And-
argue with me and say, no, I have 4 bars. And I'm like, your 4 bars is not the same as my fiber optic business level cable.
Right,
Like,
right.
it isn't. And I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, when people come here and tell me they can't get an update, and at my house, they get the same as me in 1 minute, that's an internet issue.
Right. And I think densely populated areas are worse because even though I'm in the country, I never have an issue running my Healy, the blue dot or the pink dot.
Yeah, but you know, some people have shared Wi-Fi. Some people have a lot of devices in their household and their kids are on games and they got Netflix on and then they got Gmail open and someone else is watching a YouTube. That slows things down terribly.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you saw how I got the message about the timeout. The way you fix that is like if you're going between Healys, because that's possible just because I went from one Healy to the other. The way you fix it is you delete the app. And I know it's inconvenient, but this is how you fix it. You go back in, and this time I won't have a timeout, I promise. And you see, I had to move it around a few times to get to the right place. And I'm going to go to check for updates. And there it is. So if you ever get the timeout problem, you don't have a not working Healy, you have to close the app because your apps are still confused between your 2 Healys. Okay, there's all my apps again. Now I'm on Healy number 2. So what did we just do? We didn't close the app. We deleted the app, went back into the app store, reloaded the app, went back to settings, checked for updates. Boom, it's now working.
Right. You're
Now,
uninstalling it and reinstalling it.
Yeah, uninstalling it, reinstalling it, and then it worked. You saw the timeout update. That happened to me too, by the way, when I got the animal subscription. When I got the animal subscription and I would go check for updates because I thought it would just populate, I got one of those timeout messages. And I was like, well, that's interesting. And I did it like 3 times. I got timeout and I thought, well, that's weird. It's timing out on this new subscription. So I deleted the app, uninstalled it, reinstalled it, came back. Not only did I get the update message immediately, but then there was all my new programs. And we, like I said, that was like 3 weeks ago. I think we covered that it was just a matter of going back out. Sometimes just fixing everything is just removing the app, uninstalling it, reinstalling it. Then you're getting the latest version. You're getting the fixes to some of the glitchy stuff. It's no big deal to go out and cancel the Pink Dot app and reload it, because look how long that took me, a minute. And think about how long I could sit there and jack with it. I'm just going to delete it because on the Pink Dot app, there's no client data, there's no photographs, there's no nothing. There's no reason not to cancel it and bring it back on whenever you want.
So go down now to your settings and then search for another Healy. So click settings, connect to another Healy, search
Okay.
for another Healy, and then
Well,
have
I
your
don't
other.
have it. Do you want me to
Oh,
go back to my other
Oh,
one?
did you? Yeah. Turn your other Healy on. You have 2 of them there, right?
Well, no, I walked across the house because I had to leave one in the other room to connect to this one.
But what I'm saying is that Bluetooth will search for another one, and it'll show because a lot of times the Bluetooth stays active for 3 to 5 minutes or so after the Healy is completely turned off. If you swipe the app close, it turns the Healy off. It doesn't necessarily mean that the Bluetooth has been completely deactivated yet. It stays on for like 3, 5, I don't know how many minutes, so that when you try to go back in and let's say you want to connect to another Healy to give to Eddie or someone else, all of a sudden your device that you were just on, the Bluetooth starts because now it's signaling that. But if you go to search for another Healy, it should bring up the Bluetooth, or it does on mine anyway, shows the Bluetooth of what Healys are active in my household, whether it be my watch and Steven's or mine. And then I get to pick my serial number out of that, and then it will connect to mine.
Yeah, so I have the first one on, I have the second one off, and it's not finding my first one.
It's not finding your first one.
No, and I've always done it the way I showed you guys. I
Right,
leave it
just
in
walk
another
away.
room, go across
Right.
the house, and I've had no problem connecting that way.
Right.
And I've had people tell me if they have two together, it's doing what it's doing right now. Now, if I go to Bluetooth, let me see what it shows. Because I have two Healys right in front of me.
Apple Watch. I like one.
It's not really showing either one, but they're turned on. Yeah, my best luck, Maria, has been leaving one somewhere else and focusing on the one I want to use. So I'm not saying that that doesn't work, but that's been what people have come here for, is because if they had the two in front of them, like Alice had three, and she couldn't use any of them because it was getting confused on which one. It kept trying to turn one on that wasn't even on. And she was trying to use her new one to test it. And she thought her new one was defective because it kept going to her original one. And when she went to right here, even if I scan now I'm scanning the barcode of my first one, my original one. Let's see. You see, I scanned it. Now it's still saying this. But the problem is they're both blinking on. And this is what a lot of people experience if they have two Healy sitting in front of them. It just puts you in this weird loop. I'm scanning it again. And this is what people say, is that they think that it's not active, and that's not the problem. Let's see if I have any programs. Oh. So now it's connecting to my first Healy, and it's going to update. It looks like it's going to work. Now the second Healy is turned on, but we'll see if this works. Sometimes it does and doesn't. I'm just telling you guys, if you have a problem with two Healys, the fix is, even if you turn it off, you need to have it away from you.
Yeah.
Like before you call and think it's not working. Okay,
Right.
so now I'm on my original Healy. And let's download a program. And then I think we should go into the program list, and how to get to that in the back office. But is there anything else? I really wanted to show you me walking away from the Healy, so that you realize that your Healy's still working. That screen that you see that turns like kind of purple and white is normal. And when you have two Healys, the fix is to delete the app and come back in if you have to, or to take one across the house or put it in your car while you're working with the other one, so it doesn't get confused. But like going back to what we said a minute ago, Maria, if you have one phone and two Healys, that still doesn't mean, why wouldn't you just use the Healy you're already using?
Yeah, this is true.
I mean,
Just,
just because you have two Healys on one phone doesn't mean you stop using the first Healy, because you can still only use one at a time. I think make your life simple. Put your extra Healy in a drawer or loan it to somebody, because if you just want to keep flipping Healys because that's my husband's and this one's mine, that's silly. You're just
Right.
causing yourself extra grief. I can't think of a single example of why you would have two Healys in front of you and want to flip between one and the other. I cannot understand that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit while you're here. I've got some on a PowerPoint screen, but the three little dots to the right, I have no clue what there are. I think those are just decorations. I have no clue what the three little bubbles are. And in anything I've seen come from Healy, I've never seen an arrow pointing to it that said, this is this.
Yeah.
If we were to go farther into this program with Gwen, if we got into like 30 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, something like that, you would notice a percentage at the bottom that's changing every time the hertz frequency changes. So let's talk about that a little bit. This is the quantum sensor in the Healy itself, registering your response. It's a biofeedback mechanism with how your body, how your energetic field is receiving those Hertz frequencies. So each program itself has probably anywhere from, I don't know, 10 up to 50 or so different Hertz frequencies attached to that particular program. So it's going to run the cycle. But what's happening is when the Healy is in your energetic field, then the value or the time limit, the amount of time that Hertz frequency needs to be integrated into your energetic field in order to bring you up to a high enough resonance that it'll drop off, changes all the time. So here we are running pure, but the next time Gwen puts this on and runs it near herself, it's going to be a completely different program because her energetic field is different. The information field is slightly different than it is right now. So when the progress bar or the percentage progression at the bottom of this heartbeat circle comes up, the icon circle, it could show, like, let's say it's right now at 817.8, and let's say the percentage said -73. That would mean that she needs to use that, the Healy will bring in that frequency a lot more than maybe 708.5, which may be registering at 63%, not negative, but higher. As soon as that gets up, then all of a sudden it'll drop off. So it probably would be good to let this run and then maybe come back and show, because a lot of people question, why does it say negative numbers? Well, the quantum sensor is gauging your energetic field based on that Hertz frequency and the biofeedback, registering it from a -99 up to 100%. And we would all like to be at 100% of 100% of what we need. But a lot of times we've set the bar low because of our environment or the food choices or stress, not getting enough sleep, whatever. So our resonance is actually lower. So the Healy is coming in and bringing up that resonance to a higher level, and it'll keep bringing that frequency back. As soon as it gets up to a certain level, then that frequency will drop off and it probably won't come back again in that particular program. And this is why you can have this pure program that I can't remember what it started at, was probably 52 or 55 minutes. This particular program could be less time because you have a lot more Hertz frequencies that are up in the higher levels of where you should be, and those frequencies drop off. It goes through that whole cycle and you end up with a 42-minute program instead of a 55-minute program. So that does happen. Okay. Anything else you want to add to that as far as the frequencies or the positives, the percentages?
I'll leave it going so people can see that. I wanted to add, someone is not muted. So if you don't mind, please everyone mute yourself. Also, I was going to say that I think it was Martin I was on a call with on early that was talking about that same thing. And he said something that made sense to me that I've repeated a few times, that the negative numbers, like when I first ran the first few programs, I had a lot of negative numbers and a lot of high negative numbers. And what I noticed over time was that I had more positive numbers. Like instead of -86, I was seeing numbers like 30% or 50%, you know, especially over months. I don't hardly have any negative numbers anymore, but he explained it as, you know, kind of like a resistance. You know, the negative numbers represented that there was some resistance in the body to that particular frequency. So your body may not accept all the frequencies or maybe blocking, but as you use the Healy, the body's more receptive, the frequencies get through. So if, you know, when you're talking about quantum sensor, there must be a way that it's measuring, like, you know, like I call those things kind of like suppressed or blocking versus more conscious or apparent. So I would probably describe it a little bit like that. But I mean, I'm just repeating something I heard on a call, really. Not
yeah,
that
Martin, I remember Martin Whitman in the very beginning, and he's sort of the, you know, the medical physicist. I can't remember what else he is, but he was talking about those negative frequencies specifically here. And I'm not talking in the blue app with the aura. That's not, I'm talking about here. As soon as at the bottom of this icon, it shows percentage of progression in this particular program. And some of those numbers might, for a lot of people, be negative. And that just means what he explained is that the quantum sensor is gauging every Hertz frequency from a negative 99 up to a positive 100. And it wants to get the numbers up. So if you have a frequency that keeps showing up, and let's say it's negative 73, and then another Hertz frequency comes in and it's positive 6, and then let's say it goes back to that one frequency that was negative 73, but now it's negative 80, it doesn't mean that you're getting worse. It just means that the body is kind of doing this push pull, tug of war, push pull, trying to, you bring a new frequency in and it sort of changes your whole energetic field for that moment. And then that new Hertz frequency comes in and it pulls it a little longer. And then the next time you see that Hertz frequency, it might be negative 23. You've made all of this gain, but it's other frequencies that are coming in and out. It's sort of like an ebb and flow. So I know we end up putting a lot of weight on it. And what does this mean? What does this mean? Really, we don't have to know. See, okay, so here's perfect.
Wait, you know what? Wait, you know what, Maria? Is right when it hit those 3 little circles, it came up.
Oh, I wonder if that's a timing thing. If that first, that would be fun.
I never noticed that before, but I just noticed that as soon as
I'm gonna start noticing that.
It came up, and you see how it's 60%, no, negative 60% progress. So this would be like what we're talking about, but there's nothing you can do about that anyway.
No, you just let it go.
Yeah, whatever your number is your number. Trying to figure that out is people worrying about things that you can't do anything about anyway. It's just like an internal measurement, but it's nothing you can do about that.
Right. Yeah, it's just basically it's like that one. It was, I can't remember what it was before. It was at minus 20 and now it's minus 36. But you've had like 3 other Hertz frequencies in between that one. So let's look at 1196 when it comes up again and see what progression has been made.
Well, this one's at 16%, but yeah, it only matters if the Hertz is the exact same Hertz.
Right. So if we're looking for
a different measurement.
Right. So 1192, if that one shows back up again, we'll see if the percentage has changed. Now it's negative 87. See, again, so it's, I think it was 1192 or 1196, but it's like, it's just this balancing act. It's balancing. Tug of war, trying to get you to a place where everything is up above, 0 and into the positive. And that's really what it's working for. And that's what's so awesome. But a lot of people put a lot of weight into that. I just think it's very cool and very interesting.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome that those 3 little dots may just be where it starts. Yeah. So look at 13%. Now it's 1196 Hertz, but it's 13%. So now you're above 0. You were clear down, so again, it's just this tug of war. It's this little gentle pulling back and forth. Someone's asking about the battery. So the battery up at the top says 98%. That's not Gwen's phone battery. That's her Healy battery, right? The little up in the white banner where it says Healy off to the right, it shows 98%. So her battery has got some good life in it.
And Maria, since you're not showing your screen, can you mute whoever's not muted?
I can't because I'm not host.
Oh, dang. Okay.
No, I don't know why it didn't do co-host this time, but
I don't either. Yeah. And my battery, I let it go down to like 40%. I don't charge it all unless it's low. I don't just charge it every time I use it or every morning. If it starts getting into especially like 29%, I'm charging it, but I don't, generally when people talk about battery life, you don't want to just always recharge a full battery. That's not necessarily good for batteries of any kind. So I don't think it's a great
batteries. Yeah, these batteries are very trainable. So I have a Word document in the PowerPoint that I'll be pulling up. And so you guys can take a screenshot of it on how to kind of train your battery and give your battery some more life.
Okay, well, now that we saw the progress, and I think we've covered everything that I can think of, do you want me to make you host again so you can show the program list? And
yeah, let's do the program list, and then I've got my camera so we can show some cool things we can do with the pink dot still.
Okay, so I'm gonna make you co-host, and
okay.
Oh, now it lets me make you co-host.
Oh, very cool.
And 2 more people are coming on. Okay, so you'll show your screen. I'm gonna mute myself and,
Okay.
and turn off my video just because of what happened earlier. And then I'll unmute when you're ready.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm going to share my screen so you can see everything here. Okay, so. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can make this bigger, but I want to keep the sides over here. Okay, all right, so basically Gwen already went over the programs, but I wanted to just have them, I'm going to show you these screens and then where you can find them in ATP 123. So again, these are really important. There are some great in the ATP 123 back office. There is an extended one that will show you the times. I really want to go back through here and add the times on all of these, but I haven't done that yet. So I am slowly getting to all of that. But Gwen pretty much went over everything. But these you really just need to look at what's going on. So look at this as a weakened bioenergetic field is frequently associated with poor health care. So what they've said and what we've heard is care is really good for trauma, emotional and physical. Peer is just a really nice way to get the body ready for frequencies when you're first beginning, but then peer is a great gentle detox. And so when you're looking, when something shows up in the resonance, go in and look and see what it's for, and you'll start really learning the different screens and or different programs and what they're for. Okay, so pain. Everybody's talking about the pain one. I'm sorry, this is a little bit blurry. So in the pain program, there were some things that didn't make the FDA clearance. There were some, we were calling them medical terminology, disease states that we can't say, like depression and insomnia and migraine and those type of things. So on one of the ones I had, and I couldn't find it for you today, I had basically said that this is a little caricature guy. And so if you can know what the picture's meaning, then it'll help you. So pain, this is the chronic pain. If the chronic pain comes up in the blue dot when you're scanning yourself, this is chronic pain. And then this is the pain locally. And so even though it has a spine there, when you click on that, it'll show you all different kinds of places that you can put the electrodes. You could still wear the wrist straps, or you can wear them without the cables completely. So that's the pain chronic and pain locally. This one, very obvious, tooth and jaw. Now, if that shows and you don't have tooth issues and you don't have jaw or TMJ or anything, the vagus nerve, which is the nerve that basically touches all of our organs and glands and systems, and if it's activated, then we are more in a calm state. The minute the vagus nerve gets shut off because of tension and stops functioning and really being able to distribute electricity through the system, then we go into that fight or flight. So I want people to remember when they see jaw and tooth come up in their scan and they think to themselves, oh, I probably don't need that because I don't have any tooth or jaw issues. I wonder why that showed. Run it anyway, because you may have some neck muscles that are really tense and not allowing for the vagus nerve to open up and be active. This one is for joints. So that's pretty self-explanatory there. Okay, so now think of this little guy. And he's got 2 lightning bolts on his head. So that would be considered migraine. So severe headache, migraine. And if we look at 5, it says unpleasant sensations in the area of the head. So again, they had to change things for our FDA. They can't mention those disease states. And they consider a migraine, unfortunately, a disease state. This guy's laying down. See how his hair is shooting out to the left and he's kind of smiling? This is insomnia. Okay, can't go to sleep. Again here, bioenergetic balancing of sleep challenges. Okay, this guy over here is so sad. See his little weary face. It's bioenergetic support for mental balance. So we're looking at depression. This guy has kind of a quivering mouth. Okay, so this used to say anxiety. Here it says bioenergetic support to relieve mental stress. So this is the only page that has Roman numerals. And a lot of people, this will come up and they'll think, oh my gosh, I'm in the wrong language, or my programs haven't loaded correctly. No, this is exactly what it's saying. They just had to change the disease states to be compliant with the FDA. And there have been some other changes in the skin programs and that type of stuff as well, just to be a little bit more compliant and less directive towards any kind of disease or illness. But that's that one. And then let's go to the next one. So these are, again, the local pain and then learning. So learning is about brain activation and function. So all of these are about the function of the brain. Whereas mental balance, which we'll look at, mental balance is more brain chemistry. So if you can think of those two things as they're coming up in your scan, that if you have an exam coming up, you're probably going to want to do more of a learning program than you are mental clarity or mental balancing, even though it would seem like mental balancing would be the best one. So we just want to clarify that a lot of the learning is about just brain function. Okay.
Maria,
Yeah.
just real quick, someone's asking if you're on a Mac product or is that computer? You're not on Mac, you're on regular, right? PC?
I'm on a PC. Were they talking about what you were showing? You were showing, you were on an Android.
I'm on Android. No, they're specifically asking what you're demonstrating. They said, Maria, what are you showing? Is it a Mac? So you're a PC. And then there's also people asking how you got to that document. So maybe someone, I know we covered every week, but maybe at some point, can you just go how you get to the back office to get to the program list?
Yep, I sure will. Yeah, I've got that planned. Yeah,
okay,
absolutely. Okay, so let's go to the next one, fitness, job, sleep. I love the ones in fitness. I've seen a lot of great things happen with people who are athletes. Yeah, for me, I love regeneration. I think regeneration has some anti-inflammatory properties in it. And that was something that took away a severe head pain for me in about 5 minutes. I was in some pretty severe pain, and I was even nauseous. I mean, it was definitely a migraine. And within about 5 minutes, all of that sensation went away, and I could have worked for 3 more hours. I was pretty amazed. So not that those frequencies are going to work for everybody that way. That was perfect timing for me. That may have just been, although I have used it again, my body seems to really like those frequencies. And you'll find that as you go through, you'll find different programs that your body really responds to. Job and sleep. So sleep is from sleep system down. I will redefine this in the new one I put them up. So it's the sleep system, bed rest, balance, sleep, and find flow. Everything else is job. Activation is amazing for mental clarity. Anytime I have to be on a Zoom, or I'm not running it right now, but anytime I've been on a Zoom call, I'll always put it on activation, because this one literally gives you a zippy brain, and you can think on your feet and you sound really smart. Mental balance. So this is one, remember I said learning was more for brain function. This is about brain chemistry. So like here, feel good system, energetic activation of confidence when you feel down. So this could definitely influence serotonin. But when we get down in here into addictive type behaviors, nicotine, all of these are about dopamine. And so this is more, I feel, don't have anything to prove that, those hertz frequencies are specifically that, but I really believe that everything in the mental balance starts to help change and balance brain chemistry. Okay, beauty, skin. So now the new one doesn't say wounds, it says skin. Let me look here really quick. It says support skin system.
That question came up too, if people are
Yes.
not getting updates because of that one thing. And I honestly don't remember what mine said when I had it on the screen.
And I don't know. I know that there's a blue app update too, and it's possible that there might be connection there. I did an update, and mine now shows support skin system instead of wound, support wounds local. So if you can sort of have the old and the new, then you can have that. Like the acne system. I mean, are they calling acne a disease state? Are we really there? We can't say acne anymore. But the new one says skin impurity system. So, okay, so that's that one. Do the scars, let me go back to the scars here. Scars is the same, scars local and scars system. Okay. And then the bioenergetic 1 and 2. So you're looking at all of your organ systems, glands, and tissues. So I usually say if somebody buys a gold, especially when there's not a sale, somebody buys the gold at the 470 and they don't know what to pick, I always have them pick one because you've got your immune system and you have a lot of your different systems, and it's $199 for this program. Both of these individually sell for $199 in the back office if you're just buying in your shop, if you're just buying an app. So I always tell them to buy an expensive one or pick that one for the free, because when you buy a gold, you get to choose one. Sometimes for men and women, prostate will show up. This just means it's balancing hormones. That's what this is all about. And women have testosterone too. So sometimes you'll have in the blue app, if you're scanning somebody, it'll show up in this category, it'll show up prostate for a female. And that, you know, and it happens, and just honor it. Meridians. This is really important because we're talking about the energetic flow of your system. And an organ system, it's really interesting. If you haven't taken our courses, you should go online and Google meridians and just look at the lines of where the meridians go in the body, because somebody can come in and have an ache and a pain somewhere in their body that isn't like on the outside of their thigh. And you're like, I didn't hit it, I didn't do anything. But then all of a sudden you go, oh, liver meridian. It might be something with the liver. So again, you can use these for just helping the system bring balance in all different types of areas. That connective tissue is amazing for ligaments, tendons. Chakras. So I have a lot of massage therapists that use this particular program. They turn on their Healy and they put it underneath the table of the person they're working on. So they put it on, 30%, 50%, and they just allow heart chakra to come up and just be available for there. Chakras are just energy centers. So try not to let any type of dogma or religious beliefs pull you from chakras. Chakras are literally just body energy centers that just need to be open and flowing. And the protections, I've seen a lot of different things come up for people, from the geopathy to the cell. It's interesting because I thought this was protection from cell phones, and it's bioenergetic strengthening of the cell. So I thought it was really funny when I was like, oh, I thought that was a cell phone issue. I had a gentleman come in and he had some PTSD revolving sleeping, and sleeping showed up, and his wife was like, wow, that is incredible that it picked up sleeping and protection, because he just always stayed kind of lightly asleep because he was afraid of being attacked. Okay, and then the deep cycle. Now I'm going to show you in ATP 123 where you can get some deeper information on the deep cycle. And then there's that bioenergetic boost. Coherence is another program that's going to come out. We don't have a definition for it yet. We don't know exactly when it's going to come out, but we know it's coming, and it'll show up in your back office as an update. Okay, let's go to some of these other things. Gwen showed you this happen, and I'm glad it showed on hers. So what you might have to do is uninstall, reinstall, or just what I've done when this happened is I'll actually back out of this, swipe it completely closed, and then do another Healy. Bring another Healy in and scan, and then I go back to that other one, and then it works fine. It's just a glitch. It's just a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth issue. Okay. You see these screens, you swipe them and you start over. That's just what you do. You just swipe them and start over. And then Gwen showed sometimes if you get the timed out like this one over here, sometimes you might have to delete the app, which is uninstall the app, delete it, and then bring it back in. We already showed this one. I brought this one up. You're not missing a program. Some of them have like just a random space. They didn't center these two. I don't know why, but someone said I'm missing a program. And I'm like, well, no, you're not. You're not missing a program. This is just how that page was designed. But there are several pages that have just sort of random missing, and they're not in any order. Okay. So this is those apps, especially in the pain ones, that show you where the electrodes are supposed to go. This is just a recommendation or a suggestion. You can put them everywhere, anywhere. It doesn't, you can wear wristbands with this. It just you know, just use your Healy basically. Okay, so this one has come up and it's really blurry. I'm sorry, but I pulled it from, I can't remember if it was Google or Facebook, but it's a nice one to have because it just sort of shows you everything we've been talking about. We didn't talk a whole lot about and it seems like every call we do talk about the black and the white, and then sometimes gray. So I have one of my people that in all of the pain programs, it shows gray, but in all of his other ones, it'll go black and white. But in that particular one, it shows gray. So I've heard a couple of different definitions of that. I don't know the exact answer. So Gwen, do you know the exact answer for a gray line?
No, I thought, yeah, I think I'm dreaming this, but I thought I heard someone say it was like not like the black, like you're not connected at all, like it's in between, which makes sense if it's gray.
I heard that too. And I know that a lot of on the pain, especially the frequency is really low. You know, on that page 18 in your manual, the chronic pain is 0.5 hertz. So it's a really, really low hertz frequency that a lot of people won't pick up. That's probably why a lot of people don't necessarily feel, even if they've got those in their wristbands or the cables up to 100%, they don't necessarily feel that. But the pain locally, so that's number 2 on the pain, is still only 100 hertz. So
and
I think,
Maria, I want to add to what you just said. That's super important. Frequencies under 100 hertz are almost not detectable. They're like the dog whistle. So if someone's in that lower range, it's almost like if you could play it in an auditory way instead of a kinesthetic way, you wouldn't hear it.
right.
Like it's something a dog would sense. So if you're in those low ranges at 100%, you won't feel it either, I don't think. So that's a good point that I didn't say earlier about the actual hertz.
Yeah. So if you could take a screenshot of this, I mean, obviously this will be in our YouTube channel as well. So you'll be able to go back and look at this. Also, I think I'm almost positive I just pulled this off of Google. Just Google Healy frequencies, black line, and you'll pull up a lot of different pictures. And this is one of them. Okay. So let's go to that train your battery. This was from Healy customer support. If they were having issues, and I think somebody in the chat said their battery seems to die at even 80%. So let's talk about this. This is what they asked you to do: is first try charging it on a laptop. Unfortunately, it doesn't always charge using an outlet. And then try these steps. Connect the Healy to the charger. Green light should be lit and faintly blinking every second. Reset the Healy by pressing on and off for about 20 seconds, or pressing the on and off button for about 20 seconds. And then leave the Healy connected in the charger until the green light is off. When the Healy light is off, disconnecting the Healy from the charger, press the on and off button. And I've seen also where they said press the on and off button twice. You turn it on, and so the green light is blinking, and then you turn it off, and then you turn it on again, and then you turn it off. So there's a couple of different ways. I think it was Ken Dial who said it, that might have been Ken Close, that said that it sort of resets the algorithm of the battery. And so that's what was here. So anyway, you can make a copy of that. Okay, so now let's go to, see, I can just go here. I wanted to show you in the back office where you're going to find, Gwen, can you see the back office?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm going to show you here. Oh, I'm sorry, my brain. My tools. So in your back office, you're going to go to find them, to find the programs. You're going to go to my tools and then my downloads. So you're going to click on that. I've learned with this one, if you want just the programs, you have to click English, not English. And then you can click Program Overview, or Healy Programs. Descriptions are right there. And then you can download it and pull it up. There it is. So this is what's in the back office. What's very interesting about this right now is there is no pain in this one. So they are going to have to redo this and put pain in here because it's not listed. I don't think that was on purpose. And I don't think they're getting rid of the pain program, but you can at least find it in other places. And let me show you where. So this is all of those that we just went over. Okay, so here we're going to go to ATP 123. Okay, so to find your programs, you can either go up here to your first steps and click the button and go to your Healy editions here, or from the home page, you can scroll down a little bit and you can click either this and it'll take you to the same buttons, or you can just click number 4, which is purchase Healy editions. It takes you to the exact same spot. So when you get to this place where you're purchasing and whatever, down below, see right here, it says program descriptions. You have the program list. This is the one that we just showed. I just showed that in the PowerPoint. Okay. This is the one from the back office, which we just showed. This is the Healy program manual. So this is the manual from the back office in that same location that we were just at, which was in your tools right here. So you can find it's in here somewhere. You just have to go looking. Program, it's not going to be up in that one. It might be in the presentation, but it's going to be one of these manuals. So you'll have to look there. And then this one here, the enhanced program. I think that is probably the one that most people are looking for, other than the program description from the back office. The enhanced program list, this one is really nice because it gives you the minutes, it gives you the detailed information. It is 21 pages, so it's not something that you just want to go print unless you want to make yourself a manual. But what I really wanted to show, and I don't want to make anybody dizzy, is I'm going to literally go all the way down to the bottom where it talks about the deep cycle. Just close your eyes. I'm going to go fast. Sorry, everybody. Protection. Okay, so here's the deep cycle. So this is a really good explanation of all of them. Okay, so that's that. So again, this is in ATP 123, and you go to your first steps and you click on Healy editions or purchase, and you scroll down and you find the enhanced program list. So that's where you can find that. Okay. Gwen, what else did we want to show before I go into some demo stuff?
Someone asked, but I think they were actually talking about me. So someone said, how do you show your screen when you're actually doing the programs? And that's just the Zoom function of share screen. So someone asked, so how's Maria able to show the programs while she's using the Healy? But that's a Zoom function, nothing to do with Healy. So if you have a Zoom account, you can't do it unless you actually manage the account. So if you have a Zoom paid account, you can do share screen, and that's pretty easy. And I don't know. So Joan is asking, and maybe this can be on another week, but she's asking, how do you even go to the back office? So we've done lots of back office calls. I don't know how much you want to do on back office today, because I'd rather stay on the Pink Dot. But if you just want to say partner.healyworld.net and use your login, that's how you get to the back. I'll put it in the chat.
Well, let's do this. Let's just, since I'm at ATP 123, let's just go here, your first steps and your back office. So that's an easy one. Just go to atp123.com, click on your first steps and click on your back office, and it shows you where to go. You go to https partner.healyworld.net/login. And if you even click on this one, guess where it takes you? It takes you to a login page.
Yeah, and I'll put it in the chat, but there's no space between Healy and World. That was an autocorrect. So partner.healyworld.net, use your login information, because we really definitely want to stay focused on Pink Dot, because there's already so much to cover that you guys ask all the time.
Yeah, let me, before I do my screen share on that, let me go up here to YouTube. I just wanted to show everybody how you get to us, because this is where all this will be, is just go to youtube.com, and then click in the search bar here. You'll just click in Gwen and Maria 2020, and you'll see, in fact, let me just do that really quick so you can see. It'll show this one. There'll sometimes other people, sometimes Gwen Stefani will be up here, but you'll click on this one and it says Healy. I love that, Gwen Stefani. And then if you click videos, now it's we're all over that page. Okay, so that's how you get to our YouTube channel. Okay, so let's go to, let's see, I want to do web camera. Let's see what kind of, I need to stop share and start video. Okay, now we can see my desk. And I'm still really small in the top, Gwen, so I don't know how to get to it. Hopefully everybody can see this better.
Let me make you, well, you already are host. So I
I'm
don't know.
co-host, so yeah, I'm just not in the center on my screen. So hopefully people can maneuver and make
Okay, I
it.
have my video turned off, so I don't know if that's helping, but I'll just leave it off.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so hopefully people will be able to see this. Okay, so here's my Healy. I'm just going to show you some really cool things that you can do with the Pink Dot. If that's what you have, you don't have the resonance, this is something really fun that you can do. So here I am at the start. I'm going to turn my Healy on so it's blinking. And then I'm going to go to my Pink Dot app. It says that I have 3 in front of it. I have gone in and I've done the updates. Someone in the chat asked about on your Healy dot. I don't know if I can get that up so you can't really see it, but there's a 3 right there. I don't know exactly what that means. Usually it means there's a notification, but when I go in and I've updated, it's not going away. So we'll just, hopefully it will correct itself at some point. So I'm going to go into that app. I can't, if it'll let me in. There we go. I love how Healy makes you be patient.
Ha! That makes me laugh.
I know, I knew it would. Oh. But I think I'm glad this is happening, because a lot of people, since the gear wasn't moving, a lot of people might just close the app thinking that their Healy was just stuck in a loop and it wasn't coming back. My Healy isn't working, but really we just need a little more patience sometimes. Same thing on this screen, it'll show. Okay, see there I was running activation. Okay, so let's do this. Actually, let's just do activation. Okay, so here I am. Now my green dot is not blinking. Now that's normal, because it's not transmitting right now. I've turned off, I turned off the program that was going, and the Bluetooth is blinking, but the green dot is not. That is normal. So some people say my Healy's not working because the green dot isn't blinking. But when it's not non-transmitting, the green dot is off. Okay, so the Bluetooth is on. Okay, so let's say that I want to send frequencies to something other than myself that maybe I want to send to somebody. So I'm going to plug my cables in, and then I will put these up on the screen later so that you can see where I get them. But I just love these little metal clips. Actually, while this is going, while I'm setting this up, I'm going to go ahead and pick activation. I'll do positive thoughts. Let's do positive thoughts. So now I'm going to press start on positive thoughts. I'm trying to make my screen so you can see it. I know it's sort of lit up. Positive thoughts. And now my Bluetooth and my green dot are both going as it's progressing. In the meantime, while that's doing that, I have these wonderful little clips that have the little snap button on them. I just get them on Amazon. Okay. And then my cable will just connect right to the snap. Okay, whoops, trying to get in front of the camera. So, okay, so now I have that one attached, and then I have another one here, and I'm going to attach that one. This is the fun part about electroceuticals, because you can do all these cool things. So now I've got positive thoughts going, and the Healy's running. Okay, I could swipe the app closed, but I'm just going to let it go in case we've got other things that we want to do. Let me untangle these. Sorry, operator error. Okay. So now let's say that I want to send somebody some jewelry, but I want to have positive thoughts in the jewelry. Okay. So I have these earrings here. I happen to know that because I tried them before. That's how I bought them. I went to Michael's and I got metal jewelry that is magnetic. Okay. These are just earrings, right? So all I'm doing is I've just got this magnet. Gwen uses a magnet from, where do you get them? Dollar General, those little metal oval
Yeah.
magnets. This is a telescoping magnet that I just got from the hardware store or automotive. It's really for automotive so that they can pick up a screw. Okay. So I've just done that one and now I'm going to do this one. Okay. Just anything, any type of resonance or vibration that's still in that metal is now hopefully just gone. And then I'm going to take these clips and I'm going to clip them on the earrings. This could be a bracelet. This could be anything. So now I'm going to run that entire program of positive thoughts. And when this is all done, those earrings will have all of the frequencies, all of the resonance and vibration of positive thoughts. So then I can send them to somebody who might need that. Isn't that fun? Okay, so the other thing you can do, and what I do here in my office, is I just have washers that I buy at the hardware store. It's just a washer, just a metal washer. I take my magnet with me, so I know that they can be demagnetized. So I just brush it really good and make sure that I get all that off there. I could do the same thing. If somebody's sitting in my chair and we're running connective tissue meridian, or we're running some type of pain or migraine or whatever, we could even do a sleep one, right? So you could do a sleep one. So if they don't have a Healy, then when they're going to sleep, they just have this near them. They have it in their pocket of their pajamas. They put a string around it, tie it around their neck, whatever that looks like. If you have a pet that you want to put something in their bed or place that they sleep, you could put something in there. I know that, Gwen, what did you run for Eddie that made him eat? Was there something?
I did the Blue Dot app, the custom
Oh, the
affirmation.
custom one. Okay. So you did something custom, but you could do something for like gastrointestinal. If you have a cat that throws up a lot, only speaking from experience on that one. And then you can literally just put gastrointestinal there, put it in their bed. Okay. So let's say you've got, I don't know if this pen is, this pen is totally, magnet. So you could demagnetize that. You could literally just put this on the Healy even, and you could be running activation for brain or anything to help with procrastination or anything like that. You could take your eyeglasses and you could run eyes. You can clip here and you can run eyes. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do. You don't necessarily have to have the clips. I just find them easier to be able to do things like this. The Healy right now is also giving off all of the resonance of positive thoughts. So what if I wanted to take a tincture bottle and I could just put it right on top of the Healy? And now that, and water and metal are both really good carriers of energy and frequency. So I can just put that on top of there, let that run the whole thing. This liquid in here now, doesn't matter what it is going to be carrying positive thoughts. Okay, so there's lots of just amazing ways to use the Pink Dot. Just be okay thinking outside the box and allowing that to happen. If you're driving in your car and you just want to be settled, put it on positive thoughts or activation or something like that, and just have it in the seat next to you. So the whole car is getting that feeling. Especially if you have a lot of kids that are chattering in the back, not so calming that you would fall asleep, but you know what I mean. You get the idea. We want to just be able to take the technology that they've given us and then give it a whole new, I don't know, a whole new group of tools that you can do to assist you. So yeah, so that's my little demo for today. Okay, what else do we want or need to cover?
Well, Maria, I think we're at 2 hours. So if we want to stay true to the Pink Dot app, let me just check the chat again. So we don't get into too much of a tangent with washers and magnets and all that stuff.
Oh, I'll pull that up too while we're talking, because I've got that up here on the screen and I'll share my screen again.
Okay.
Because I've got that listed here. Share screen.
So Rebecca and one other person asked, because you made a reference to Zippy Brain, so they're asking where that's at. Which program you were referring to when you said
Oh,
Zippy?
activation in, let's see, activation in job sleep. It's the first one, activation.
Okay.
That one is really good. I like that one. Okay. And then this, if you just go to Amazon and you just type in ECG or EKG clips, metal clips, you'll get this. And then you can find all kinds of them that are similar. Find the price that you're wanting to pay, and there you go.